Good morning, Meg. Did you have some time to think about the matter we talked over yesterday?
Yeah, Todd, but since this just came up so suddenly, I'm sorry, but I haven't made up my mind yet.
Was it such a tough decision to make?
Well, yeah, I suppose it is tough for me to decide now. Because you suddenly asked me to live with your parents when we just went to meet them to say we were getting married. I didn't expect that we would live with them so soon right after we got married. So I guess I do need more time to think and become ready for that situation. And since this is such an important matter, I really wish you could have told me about this much earlier before we met your parents. Because, this was actually the first time we met your parents, Todd, so I didn't expect the discussion about living together would be brought up so suddenly.
Hey, I think you're taking this matter too seriously. Like I said to you yesterday, it's not like we have to continue to live with them forever, you know? My parents are saying that they are planning to go to a nursing home in the future. So, we just need to live with them until we save enough money to buy a house by ourselves.
Can't we save up money just by renting a house, living on our own?
But then we'll have to continue to pay rent, and will take us even more time to save enough money.
But even if we live at your parents' house, it will still cost us living expenses, right? Don't tell me you're just planning to pay only the food and utility expenses while living with your parents.
I know, but even so, you know that it's going to be much cheaper than paying rent.
I'm sorry that I couldn't say this to you clearly yesterday because we were sitting right in front of your parents, but I want you to understand how I actually feel about this. Honestly, I don't think I want to live with your parents.
Huh? Why is that?
Because if we do, then I will always have to be concerned about them. I really appreciate the situation that they're welcoming me as a family, but this is just too sudden and difficult for me to accept now.
Well, actually, I don't think so. Meg, I do think you will get along with my parents very well without any problems. So there's nothing you need to worry about. Or does that mean that you actually don't want to live with them? Was there anything wrong about my family that makes you think so?
No, it's not like that, but living together with your parents is actually a really big matter to me. Todd, try thinking of being in my shoes. Would you actually be able to live with my parents in a situation like this so suddenly?
Yeah, your parents are willing to, I guess I can. But your parents' house is actually far away. That's obviously going to be impossible, though.
Can't you reconsider this? Isn't it possible to think of not living together with them?
Well, since my parents are actually pretty positive about living with you, and since I've caused so much trouble to my parents in the past, I do wish to make up for that by living together, staying close by and supporting them, and hope to give back to my parents for what they have done for me.
But even if we don't actually live with them, can't we just find a place to rent nearby your parents' house and live separately?
You see, Meg, when I was in school, I was out all the time and barely came back home to spend time with my family. So I just want to make up for that and want to live with them for a couple of years. Of course, if you say that it's impossible after you try living with them, then we can find a place to live separately. So can't you at least try this once for me? Hey Meg, please. I'll try not to cause you trouble as much as possible. I'll even try to make some private time for you so you can relax, Meg. My father will probably be out all day working, and it's not like my mother is at home every day. And my grandmother doesn't come out of her room either. So I assume you'll be able to have some time on your own.
What? Your grandmother is living with your parents too?
Oh, didn't I mention that to you?
No. I haven't heard about your grandmother living with your parents.
Well, it's like she isn't there at all. Since she barely moves around, you can just think of her as one of those figurines.
Hey, I'm sorry. As I said, I needed more time to think about this. Because as I actually discussed this with my parents, they said that they couldn't completely agree on living together with your parents.
Well, I think your opinion is more important than your parents' ideas. Or is it that you just don't want to marry me? You know we agreed to get married right after we met our parents in the first place.
No, don't get this wrong, Todd. It's not like I don't want to get married to you. It's just that I don't think marriage and living together with your parents would come as a set.
Well, it's a surprise to me that you actually didn't want to live with my parents.
No, I'm not saying that I don't want to live with your parents. I just think there are certain procedures and the right timing for this.
Well, I'm sorry, Meg. I guess I was just thoughtless about this. I should have thought about how you might feel before asking you directly in front of my parents. But I actually don't think this is a bad situation for both of us. Because by doing so, We can save up our money and also live in a bigger home than renting some place.
Yeah, of course I understand your point. So if you can give me some time, I'll try to think about this a little more. Well then, I'll contact you again later.
Hello, Meg. This is Todd's mother, Anne. Todd told me your contact. I'm sorry to contact you so suddenly, but since we're going to be in a long relationship from now on, I hope you can save my contact.
Hello, Anne. Thank you for contacting me. I really appreciate you welcoming me into your family.
Sure, of course. We're so happy that you will be joining our family. But about that, Meg, please let me apologize first. I'm so sorry about the conversation we had the other day. You were probably so surprised when Todd suddenly talked about living together, right? I did warn Todd about that after that conversation.
What?
Because I do understand that no newlyweds would want to live together with their parents right after they got married. So I'm really sorry. That was a thoughtless thing to say.
No, please don't apologize at all. I was just a bit surprised, that's all.
As it was Todd's idea, as his mother, I was happy that he offered to do that, but honestly, I do understand your feelings as a daughter-in-law coming into our family. I absolutely know it's not an easy decision to make. And I heard from Todd that your marriage is now being postponed for a while. I assume that's all because of the matter of living together with us, right? I'm just so concerned about that, because I wouldn't want this matter to get in the way of your marriage.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's not like I'm saying that I don't want to live together with your family, but I was just a bit concerned that he didn't try to consult with me before all of this.
Yeah, I totally understand how you may feel about this, but as you may know, Todd is pretty persistent about his ideas and is not the type that easily changes what he decides. So to follow his idea, why don't we try cooperating with each other, doing it this way? First, why don't we try living together at our house and then live separately soon after that?
What does that mean?
If we live together just for a while, I'm sure Todd will probably be satisfied about what he's been longing to do for us. So after we live together for just a little while, then you can go ahead and rent a place and move out with Todd soon after that. Because of course we also don't assume that you will be willing to live with us forever. So how about us supporting you two to live separately when the time comes?
Do you think Todd will actually agree to that and be satisfied by living together in such a short period of time?
Don't worry, everything's going to be fine, so just leave it all up to us. We should just say that we get too considerate about ourselves living together with each other, or the house feels smaller since you two moved in. Just continue to make up reasons that this will not work so you two can move out and live separately from us. If it's a reason that arises after we tried living together, I don't think Todd will actually be able to say anything to that and will finally give up.
Well, that may be true, but
I'll just be sad if you and Todd break up by a matter like this. So why don't we cooperate with each other and get through this situation? Don't worry, I'll make sure you'll be able to move out of our house and live separately by the time you have the wedding ceremony.
Well, I appreciate you for thinking this through. Thank you so much for being considerate and supportive to me.
No, that's not a problem at all. Because we're really happy that Todd has finally found a girl he wants to marry, so I just wanted to help out and do what's best for Todd and you. Honestly, I still don't know much about you, but I do believe you are a nice person, and I've heard so many other good things about you from Todd. Like I heard that you're really good at housework, and he said that your cooking is even at a professional level.
No, Todd is just exaggerating. It's just that I like to cook things, and it's one of my hobbies.
That is so wonderful to have cooking as a hobby. Oh, that's right. Actually, I'd like to ask you, would you be able to teach me how to cook when you live with us? Because honestly, I've never been good at cooking and really need to work on that. Todd and my husband always complain about my cooking. So it would be great if you can teach me some tips about cooking and introduce me to some good recipes.
Sure, if it's okay with you, I can help out with cooking. But it's not like I actually make any gourmet dishes. They're all just very simple homemade dishes and nothing really special.
No, I would love that, and I definitely know that you must be better at cooking than I am. Well then, I hope this conversation helped out changing your mind towards joining our family. So would you be able to think about living together with us more positively now?
Yes. I guess I was getting worried about this marriage, but I feel a little relieved by now talking to you. Thank you for caring about me and reaching out. I'm really glad that I was able to talk to you.
Well, I'm also glad you feel that way now. I know Todd may seem a bit foolish sometimes, but please don't leave him, okay? Because he really wishes to get married to you, so I hope you understand and continue to stay by his side. I really think you two are meant to be together. Well then, I'll be waiting to hear good news from Todd.
Hey Meg, I just saw your text. You really agreed to live with my parents, right?
Yeah, I did think this through, and I just thought that maybe we can give this a try and see how this goes with your family.
Really? Thanks, Meg. My parents are really happy about this too. 'Cause they seem to really like you, Meg.
I really appreciate them welcoming me into your family, but I hope I don't let them down when we actually live together. And Todd, by saying things like I'm good at cooking, you did raise the bar too high for me, didn't you? I'm actually feeling a lot of pressure about that. I hope I can meet their expectations.
But it's actually the truth, isn't it? Meg, honestly, I've never met anyone that can do household chores perfectly as you. And in addition, you're such a good cook.
Well, I do appreciate you saying that to me, but you know people have different tastes, and I'm not sure if your family will enjoy my dishes as you do.
Oh, that's no problem at all. 'Cause if I like your cooking, then my mother and father would definitely be satisfied with it too. I'm so confident about that. So, when do you plan to move into our house?
But first, we have to process our marriage registration, right?
Oh yeah, that's right. Sorry, I'm just so excited I got carried away. So, when should we process the registration? At first, I know we were thinking of getting married right after we met our parents, so I'm ready to get married anytime, like even now. Meg, you're not particular about exact dates, are you?
Well, no, I'm not particular about that, but I guess it will be better if we choose one of the luckiest days on the calendar. Let me see. So, how about the 9th of next month?
But that's like 1 month from now. And unfortunately, I'm going on a business trip on that date, so I won't be in town.
Yeah, I know that you have business plans. So I was thinking of going ahead to process the registration on my own without you. And you know that we have to start preparing for moving, right? Like packing our stuff and letting the landlord know that we're leaving and stop paying the rent. Todd, you have to do all of that too on your end, you know.
Actually, I've already left my house and just moved into my parents' house now.
What? Really?
Yeah, because I thought that we'll start living with my parents right after we get married anyway.
But I didn't know that you had already moved into your parents' house this early. I'm just so surprised. Why didn't you tell this to me before?
Oh, I'm so sorry that I forgot to tell you about that. But as a result, this turned out just fine as I expected.
Even if it's an obvious matter for you, things are considered important to me. So I want you to promise to tell me these important things in advance. What were you actually going to do if I didn't agree to living with your parents after all?
Well, I was always believing in you, Meg. I guess I had no doubt about this. I really appreciate you agreeing to this marriage and living together with my parents. I know that wasn't an easy decision for you. I promise that I will love you all through my life, Meg. Mom! Yes! We did it! He finally processed the marriage registration. Then we're gonna have a personal housekeeper joining our family from tomorrow. So don't hesitate to use her as you wish, because I'm sure she'll basically do anything for us.
Huh? That's absolutely not happening because I'm not going, you fool!
What?
Because we're not even married in the first place. And just remember, I'm never going to live with your parents anyway, so why don't you just forget about everything?
Huh? What's wrong?
Don't you realize yet? Look, you have the wrong contact, you know.
What? Is that you, Meg?
Yeah, that's right.
Oh no. Meg, wait. You just need to forget what I just said. Well, that's strange.
What are you saying that I should actually forget about?
Meg, I'm so sorry. It seems that the text sent to you was just a joke sent from my colleague.
Huh?
He's actually together with me on this business trip, but since I was so happy about getting married, he just suddenly took away my smartphone from me. I'm so sorry, but can you forgive me for what he has done? I know this must have disappointed you. I will definitely warn my colleague about that.
No, that's all right, because you're just lying. Since I know you're not with your colleague now.
No, he really is with me. You need to believe me. Or should I have him call you later to apologize to you directly?
That's enough. Could you just stop all of this? I'm saying that I don't need any more excuses from you. Oh, I can't believe you were such a jerk. I feel really stupid to have thought of marrying you even once.
But you did get married to me, right?
Weren't you listening to what I said before? I said I'm not married to you because I haven't processed the marriage papers yet.
What? Why haven't you? You just said that you did a while ago, right? I thought everything was taken care of and we were now officially married.
Well, that was actually a lie.
What? A lie? Why did you have to lie to me like that?
Because you are the one who started all of this and was trying to go through a marriage full of lies. Like suddenly bringing up the matter of living together with your parents? And saying that you'll love me forever while betraying me by having an affair? Now I know that everything was just a lie.
What? Well, I didn't think I actually had to tell you about living together with my parents in advance. And for your information, I'm not having an affair.
I know you're with your partner right in the middle of having an affair now, so don't try making any excuses.
What?
The reason why I decided to process the marriage papers today on this date is because I knew that you were going on this business trip. You had business trips every month, but you were always spending a few days with her enjoying your affair, right?
No, that's not true.
No, it's absolutely true. I already have taken pictures of you two together.
What?
So it's just useless looking around now trying to find me, okay? Because I've already hired someone to investigate and follow you. So can you just give up because I already have evidence?
Hey, wait, Meg. You need to believe me. This is not true. This is all a misunderstanding.
You've been repeatedly saying that this is not true, but actually nothing is a mistake, and unfortunately, everything is the truth. So it's completely useless making any further excuses.
Meg, I need you to calm down and listen to what I'm saying. You got this all wrong. You see, I'm not having an affair with the person I'm seeing now. She's just a friend from the past, and believe me, we're not in that kind of relationship.
If that's so, then did you have to go all the way and lie that you're going on a business trip when you're just meeting a friend? And I don't think you'll hug a friend so tightly. Actually, as I was still considering living with your parents, my parents had your family investigated as well. Though I do feel awful doing that without getting any permission from you. But that's when I found out that you were actually having an affair with her. And another surprise that you've never mentioned to me, but we found out that you actually have a sister in your family too.
Oh, so you've investigated that far about us. Well then, after knowing all this, why did you say you were going to marry me anyway?
Because in the previous investigation, we still didn't have actual pictures of your partner yet. With this actual evidence, I was waiting for this moment to tell you that I wanted to break this engagement off on the first day I move in.
But you need to understand. Basically, this is all my mother's fault.
Huh?
Because my mother didn't do any of the household chores in the past. And my sister was always the one actually doing it. As my sister moved out and ran away, my mother started demanding me to do it. And told me that if I didn't want to do it any further, I need to find a wife who can handle all this.
So that's why your mother sent the text to me as if she was supporting you and concerned about me. And you just didn't want to let your partner do the chores. Since you were going to make me sacrifice doing the chores for your family, right?
But even so, I was still planning to marry you and work this out. I was thinking of just spending a few days with her, but would go back home to live with you for the rest of the week. So other than that, I really don't mind what you do at all. So please, can you please consider coming to our house?
Well, what kind of proposal is that? Are you out of your mind? You know that nobody will say yes in that kind of situation. I know you're just trying to make me a housekeeper and nurse your grandmother once we live together, right? How can I say yes to that kind of situation?
I promise that I'll never make you poor.
Thanks for caring, but I think I'm better off living by myself. I thought that you were a jerk knowing you had an affair, but I didn't think you were this helpless and pathetic.
Just remember that I will definitely ask for consolation money for the break-off of this engagement. And I will definitely tell your mother about the partner you're having an affair with.
Hey, wait, Meg! I really don't want you to tell my mother about my partner. Please, Meg. Because if my mother knows about this, she's definitely going to ask me to bring her to our house.
Yeah, I guess she will. But I really don't care what happens to you anyway.
It's all your fault trying to make me do things for you and your family.
But I actually do feel sorry for your partner.
Because she's the one who's going to have to make up for this, being your family's personal housewife and work like a slave.
After that, as I had to tell Todd's parents about his affair and finally break off the engagement, I was able to receive the consolation money for all of this from Todd. And as expected, Todd's mother immediately went over to his partner's house and they got married the next month, right after I broke off the engagement with him. As his wife started living with his parents, doing all the household chores and nursing, she couldn't put up with the bullying from Todd's mother, and it seems that they eventually got divorced within just a year. After their divorce, losing both his wife and housekeeper at once, Todd was doing all the chores and nursing his grandmother by himself like he used to again. But as he also reached his limits, constantly doing everything for his family, he just got so angry that he hit his mother and eventually got arrested by the police for violence. I do understand that Todd may have also been a victim of this as well, being controlled by his mother all through this time. But I can never empathize with him, as he was trying to make me go through all of that in place of him, and can never forgive his betrayal for also having an affair while we were actually engaged. However, as he is living his life being separated from his mother now, I do wish he will at least regret and realize the horrible things he's done to me in the past. As he did continue to say that he will love me forever up until the day we were supposed to get married. Honestly, I was so shocked and really disappointed to hear about the unrevealed facts that my parents had investigated about Todd and his family. But I'm so relieved now that I was able to realize Todd's true self and his family's situation before I actually got married. Just the thought of going through that marriage in that situation, it definitely would have been a terrible nightmare for me. I'm glad that I was able to avoid the marriage before the situation became worse. So I really appreciate my parents for investigating about Todd and his family and supporting me throughout this tragedy. After going through this incident, although I can't think of getting into a serious relationship now or the idea of getting married at all, I do realize that there are more special joys in life than just love, relationships, and marriage. Just spending some quality time with my precious family and friends are things that make me truly happy. I may not have realized this if I had gotten married to Todd, so I guess that's one thing I'm thankful for now. Anyway, I just want to continue to cherish my happiness I have now and slowly try healing my broken heart, hoping there's a future full of happiness waiting for me ahead.
Thank you for watching Pete Talk videos. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to this channel. Also, feel free to leave any comments. Please visit us again to check out the next video.